This just won't go away, will it? Is there any feasibility of Capitol Hill actually building 10 feet of wall?
I'm not sure if there'd be 10 feet of wall, Tom, but I can tell you that Republicans, and at least in the base of the Republican Party, are very much on board with President Trump's plan. As we've been talking about now for quite some time, the president is very frustrated with Nafta. There have been several reports from Bloomberg, from other outlets as well, about the deteriorating talks about Nafta. In fact, I'm told by several sources that bilateral talks between Mexico and Canada have actually intensified over the last couple of weeks, with the full expectation that President Trump ultimately is going to decide to get out of Nafta. Now, that said, should he ultimately rip the script or rip up the trade agreement, he would apparently still use the crux of Nafta to begin those bilateral agreements between Canada and the U.S. and Canada and Mexico and the U.S.
Kevin, I'm confused. Is he pulling out or not? I mean, when you say if it's a bad joke, does it mean that you will pull out? And if he does decide to pull out, will we find out in Davos or at a speech next week?
Well, the timing of when he pulls out is very unknown. Now, if he decides to stay in, and this is kind of where I've redirected the reporting, so to speak, is because he would need to get what's known as a fast-track authority through the Congress. Congress would have to give him approval of renegotiating NAFTA. So he would have to do that. There's a deadline written in law. He would have to do that in the next month or so. So the signal of him staying in would be whether or not he goes to Congress to ask for fast-track authority. Fast-track authority. That's what we'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks. Now, when he decides to get out of it, we should note that he campaigned that this was a very bad deal. I mean, he called it a lot worse on the campaign trail than a bad joke. So right now, this is just a reiteration of sorts of what he said on the campaign trail. But with talks really nearing an end, it's not really a good sign.